What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel today. Hopefully you guys are doing well. And today, boys, we're talking a little bit about FIFA 22. The game is legitimately less than a week away. I'm so excited. I think we're supposed to get the EA Play Early Access on September 22nd or 23rd. So, genuinely, within the next week, we're going to be playing FIFA 22. I'm so excited to start off the content for the next year. And yeah, the hype is definitely there. And of course, to feed into that hype, EA have slowly been giving us some of the EA FIFA player ratings, which some of them have been a bit controversial, but I think there's been one position that's really stood out to a lot of people within the community, and that is the centre backs. The centre backs this year are absolutely crazy, absolutely juiced, and I thought I'd talk a little bit about them today, what it means for the FIFA meta overall, and what it means for the upcoming year. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, don't forget to hit a big old thumbs up, and if you are new around here, don't forget to subscribe. And before we start the video today, I do want to say a big thank you to all the support on the recent videos on the channel. August and September usually aren't the best for performance-wise when it comes to creating content. However, you guys have been absolutely killing it. So a massive thank you to all you guys. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the content. And for the new people who are joining into the channel, welcome into the channel. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the videos. But anyway, let's look at some of the FIFA 22 player ratings. And to do that, we're going to hop over to our trusty pals over on Futbin. Now, as you guys can see, I'm on the popular page, and I believe the Bundesliga top players just got officially announced, so that's why you can see them in the popular page. But I do believe that Futbin has only officially confirmed player ratings. So what these are the ones that have been released from EA, as well as also the team. So these should all be correct, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, there's definitely been a bit of controversy when it comes to the player ratings. I know that a lot of people are a bit angry at this Ronaldo rating being 91 this year. I do also know that another hotly debated one, I don't know if I can see him on this popular page, but of course it is Mo Salah. I don't know if I missed him, I probably missed him somewhere. But a lot of people were a bit outraged with Mo Salah being downgraded as well. So those have been two of the more hotly debated ones. And then there are some absolutely incredible cards. One of them, I don't know if I can find him straight away, but there is Goretzka as well. And Goretzka is, yeah, there he is right there. Goretzka's Hall of Game this year, which is so nuts. So definitely a lot of crazy player ratings. But what I want to talk about today is the centre backs, and there are a lot of centre backs this year with a lot more of a pace boost comparatively to previous years. So let's jump into it. Let's talk about it a bit. The first indication I think that we had of this was with Ivan Cordoba. Don't know if I said his name correctly, but of course this hero card got tweeted out by EA I think like a week or so ago, and a lot of people were like, yo, this card's got 86 pace as a center back. That's nuts. And usually we don't see too many 85 plus pace center backs, especially at the start of the game. But yeah, this card got tweeted out and we're like, yo, that's a crazy card. Now, of course, he is 5'8", apparently, according to Futbin. Hopefully that's correct. So I don't know how crazy usable he was, but yeah, this was like the first indication that we're going to get some pretty decently paced center backs this year. And then moving across, of course, we're going to have a look at some of the FIFA 21 center backs. If we look at the golds just generally, and these are just the gold cards, I believe there's only like 8 or 7 gold cards this year for FIFA 21 that were 80 plus pace. So that was kind of the situation. I think the main ones obviously used were Rafael Varane and Joe Gomez. Manolas was used a bit more at the start, but he's a bit harder to link. And then Klosterman as well was also a very heavily used one. And I do remember at the start, Clinton Mata was also quite heavily used, and Tamori in those meta teams that needed a bit more low rated. So that's kind of the deal. We really only had 7 or 8 really meta high-paced center-backs in FIFA 21. But moving over to FIFA 22, there's countless numbers of them, and we don't have the full database out yet. There's not too many, but from just looking around at what's been released, I think there's only been like 40 or 50 center-backs that have been released officially. There are crazy numbers of 80-plus center-backs ones. Of course, we got this Ben Godfrey's card. I do know that I'm pretty sure Joe Gomez will have 80-plus pace, same with Rafael Varane, but they're not confirmed yet. But they should have 80 plus pace by the time that the game comes out. So in the Prem, you've already got good options. Also on top of that, in Ligue 1, you've got 2 PSG. And PSG this year are crazy. They're so nuts. There are so many good cards from them. Marquinhos, of course, is one of them. He links to Donnarumma, who's 89 rated this year. And then we've also got Hakimi links. Wijnaldum and Mbappe links if you want to play them in the center mid spot. This Marquinhos is absolutely crazy. 81 pace with really high defensive stats. Also on top of that, we've also got Kimpembe as well. And yeah, Kimpembe is another card that looks really, really nuts with his high pace, and he's going to link as well to all those players I just said. So you got options in Ligue 1. When we move over to La Liga, Eder Militao is of course the first one that stands out, and he looks nuts again this year. And Eder Militao is always very meta, but if this card gets like an inform or two, this card's gonna be really, really crazy. Once again, Tamori, he was in last year, but again, he still makes a featuring this year. And then I think the big one that a lot of people were like, whoa, this one's kind of nuts. And it was in, I believe, the FIFA announcement thing for their player ratings thing. They had Skriniar with 80 pace. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Skriniar was like 65, 66 pace last year. So yeah, massive pace boost up for Skriniar, probably a lot more usable now in Serie A, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot more Serie A defenses had this sort of card in the team. If we move over to the Bundesliga, we've got cards like Kanji, you've got 81 pace, 81 defense, and 77 physical, and then even outside of the top 5 leagues, we've got 2 Liga NOS cards. Yeah, 80 pace for Pepe, who normally is a 65, 66 sort of pace card, and he's definitely getting on in age. Usually FIFA, when it comes to players in their later time in their career, FIFA usually downgrades their pace by quite a lot, so very interesting to see that. And then we've also got one other card, Lucas Veritismo, who does indeed, I probably butchered the name there as well, I do apologize, but he does also have 81 pace as well. So these have been all the confirmed ones by Futbin and by EA in the clubs, so those are the ones that have been released. However, there's also one other website that's available right now. I believe it's called FootMinds. Now, what I will say before I go ahead and show you guys the ratings is I don't know if these are 100% confirmed. What this website's done is it's apparently data mined the FIFA database, and it's got the top 1,000 players. And what I will say is the website's actually right now down because it's getting so much traffic from all the FIFA players coming into it. So it's actually really hard to get any of the stats for it. But again, I don't know if these are actually confirmed, but it seems like from what I'm seeing in the community, it's pretty legit. So we're of course going to have a look at it in this debate about really fast pacey center backs, and I've got you guys some of the screenshots. So first of all, we've got Rafael Varane, as you guys know, same from last year. His stats pretty much stayed mostly the same, but of course this year he's playing in the Man United kit. Also on top of that, we do have Upamecano with 81 pace, 81 defense, and 81 physical, another Bundesliga option to partner with Akanji. And if that wasn't enough for you guys, and you didn't have enough pace in the Bundesliga, you've also got this man right here. I always get roasted in my stream for how I say it, but I think it's Lacroix, something along those lines. 88 pace on a gold card from the start, 79 rated. I know he had a team this season. I don't watch the Bundesliga, so I don't know how good he is in real life. But 88 pace on a gold center back is so nuts. I don't think we've ever had that, at least in my recollection. So that card's gonna be crazy, gonna be absolutely crazy. And guys, just think about this, right? If this card gets one inform, goes up to an 82, 83 rated card, he's gonna have like 91 pace, 90 pace with 84 defense, like 80 something physical. Jeez, boys, jeez, that's going to be a nutty card. Also on top of that, we do have Jules Koundé, of course, the potential Chelsea transfer that didn't really go through this window, but he was really good last year. He's a bit smaller, but he's got, once again, 80 plus pace, so good to see this card probably going to be staying in the meta as well. And then another big one for all you Serie A users, we do have Koulibaly with 81 pace. Now, I do believe this card last year had 75 pace as an 88 rated, so he got downgraded, but he also got +6 pace, which makes him a lot more usable. I think we'll see a lot more Serie A teams. If you guys run Serie A teams, you'll probably be using a card like this. And then also on top of that, finally, we do also have Klosterman as well. Another Bundesliga option, if you guys didn't have enough Bundesliga options. But 85 pace, 82 defense, 77 physical. I think he was one gold card that had 84 pace last year, but pretty nutty. And once again, I will restate, I don't know if these are official, but it seems like they should be potentially official. But what it just says to me overall is that we've got so many crazy gold cards that are center backs that have 80 plus pace this year. And this isn't even counting like all the cards that are like 79, 78, 77. I think Van Dijk's 78 pace this year. So there's going to be a lot of really usable center back cards. And once again, once you check that Shadow or Anchor Chem Salon, they're going to get +10 acceleration, sprint speed, and really get their stats boosted up there. So it's crazy to see. Now, the reason why I think EA have gone ahead and done this is to really combat the FIFA 21 meta of the wingbacks at center back. If you guys don't know, in FIFA 21 there was a point in stage where center backs were just too slow to keep up with all of the attackers that were coming out. So what people decided to do, at least in the pro scene a lot, and it kind of fled throughout the community, was they started to use cards like Reece James, like Mbabu, like Kleiber, and a whole bunch of other right backs that were quite strong but still also had a lot of pace in their centre back positions, and because they were on 7 chemistry, they weren't negatively impacted. I basically saw teams where the back 5, they were playing a 5-3-2, and they had 5 left backs and right backs straight across the back line. And I think EA don't really want that coming into their next year. So the first thing they've done, of course, is by dropping this pitch notes. And they've said in their pitch notes that by placing any player that is not a centre back in a centre back position, if you do that, it will negatively impact the defensive positioning. Now, whether or not the impact of that is great or small, we'll have to see what happens in FIFA 22. But that is one step towards not using people that aren't centre backs in the centre back spot, and I think that's a good step that is definitely needed. And the second step that they've kind of made for that is they've boosted a lot of the centre backs to have a lot more pace, so they are a lot more usable. We looked through the whole collection before, there are so many, and the full database isn't even out yet. So I think this year upcoming, we're going to see a lot more players in the centre back spot that have a lot higher pace, and what it should mean is that we should really have a no longer meta where we have left backs and right backs at center back, which I think is a great thing. It needed to happen, and I think for the marketing of the game, at least in the comp scenes, you can't have competitive scenes being watched by the player base if it's external, outside the competitive and the community. They can't be having cards like Reece James and all this sort of other stuff playing center back. They just don't want to show that off, in my personal opinion. So I think it's definitely a good change. And the other thing that I think it's really going to have a positive impact on is the variety of teams now, because before, in the start of FIFA 21, a lot of the meta was to do with this through ball meta, and because of that, you needed really fast center backs, otherwise you were just going to get caught out. That's the reason why everyone was running Joe Gomez and Varane, and I don't know if this year's going to be all about that through ball meta, but everyone knows that pace is the king stat in FIFA. If you don't have good pace, you a lot of times aren't very usable. So what that means for the upcoming FIFA is that I don't think we're going to see a lot of defenses that are just Varane, Joe Gomez, even though they're in the same league now, but we'll have a lot more different options. I think Bundesliga is going to be heavily featured. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of Serie A defenses, especially with that Cordoba card if he is very good, and then also with Koulibaly and Manolas and all the others as well, and Skriniar. And then also on top of that, like La Liga, I don't know how many other options we've got going on, but you got Eder Militao, who gets a strong link to Mendy straight away. So there's a lot of good options I think that should be happening with the centre back spot, and I think it needed to happen for club diversity and player diversity, because it's not fun playing up against the same players in Joe Gomez and Varane every single FUT Champs match. So I think it's really good. It's a really good sight to see. But anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for the video for today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Let me know down in the comments below what your guys' thoughts are on having some higher paced center backs overall. For me personally, I think it's a really good thing, because if it means that we move away from the right back and left back at center back meta, that's a massive bonus. But also on top of that as well, I think it means that we'll have a lot more diversity in terms of squads, especially in the defense, when we've got a lot more options than just Joe Gomez and Varane in every single team. So that'll be really good to see, and I honestly can't wait for the start of FIFA 22. We're less than a week away, as I said at the start of the video, but I can't wait to get on this content grind and just start playing the new game. So hopefully you guys are excited too. Thank you for watching. Take care. Have a good one. Much love and peace.
Whenever your heart is broken.